Have you heard of the term moonlighting? It means having a second job, as in you have your 9 to 5 job, and once you're done with that, you take up another assignment. That's moonlighting. The term has become an apple of discord. There's a lot of debate online. Is it ethical or is it like cheating on your first job? Employees are cheering for moonlighting. Employers, obviously not so much. They worry about productivity loss. Employees about not making the most of their time. Now, the concept is not new, but the debate is. And there's a need to find the middle ground. So we thought, why not try and answer some critical questions first? For example, is moonlighting legal? What does the Indian law have to say about this? Is it indeed ethical? And how many people are currently moonlighting? Also, is this the future of work? We'll discuss all of this and more in the next few minutes, starting by deep diving into the concept of moonlighting. What is it all about? Simply put, moonlighting involves taking up an assignment outside your work. This assignment could be anything, related or unrelated to your first job. So how is it different from freelancing? You see, a freelancer is not an employee. She is self-employed and provides services to multiple organizations. So you freelance. Moonlighting is when a full-time employee holds multiple jobs. You could be a salesperson 9 to 5 and you could be moonlighting as a DJ. You could be a lawyer 9 to 5 and moonlighting as part-time professor of law. You could be a journalist and also have your own YouTube channel. Now, why is moonlighting called what it is? Because the second job is usually taken up after normal work hours, meaning it's mostly an evening job, and that's the association with the moon. Why do people do it? Why do they moonlight? To maximize their talent, to make the most of their potential, also to earn an extra income. It could be for passion, for the sake of financial security, to give your creativity a chance, or just because you want to. It could be anything, really. Today, there is a growing opportunity to moonlight. There are multiple portals offering part-time or project-based jobs like Fever, TopTal, Jubal, Upwork, FlexJob, Simply Hired. It's a long, long list, and it comes with ample opportunity for every skill set. There are writing jobs, translating jobs, graphics designing, animation, consulting, social media marketing, influencer marketing, a whole lot of things. Social media has made moonlighting very easy. And work from home has given people the extra time to moonlight. They're saving time on travel. And many are using that time to monetize. They're monetizing that time to earn some extra money. In India alone, a survey of 400 IT employees found that 65% of them knew someone who was moonlighting. Experts say this could be because Indian tech workers are generally underpaid. But moonlighting is not limited to any particular sector. You may have seen school teachers giving private tuitions or doctors having private practices. Also, this is not specific to any particular level of workers. Very often, top-level employees moonlight as consultants. And this is not a concept that is specific to India, unique to India. As of 2015, some 7.5 million Americans were holding multiple jobs, which is 5% of the US workforce. During the pandemic, the numbers went up globally, and now there's a big debate online. So what is the fuss all about? Here's why moonlighting worries employers. 1, they worry that it could lead to conflict of interest. 2, there could be also a breach of confidentiality. 3, employees could be misusing company resources like using office laptops for other gigs. 4, moonlighting could lead to absenteeism, also fatigue and burnout. And these are all valid concerns. But so is the argument in support of moonlighting. It is quite simple. If an employee can afford to do more and earn more, why shouldn't she? As long as it does not get in the way of a primary job, why should moonlighting be anybody's business? If anything, an employee may be able to bring more to the table. Every new assignment comes with an opportunity to learn, and an employee who is constantly learning is always an asset. Next question. What does the law say? It's kind of a grey area. For starters, the term moonlighting is new. So if you're talking about the Indian law, we look at dual employment. What does it say? The Factories Act of 1948 prohibits dual employment in India. But this act does not regulate the engagement of employees across all sectors. It only regulates labour in factories. What about the rest? There is no specific law prohibiting moonlighting in India. The most important document in this context is actually a job contract. Its terms and conditions decide whether or not you can pick up a second assignment, whether or not you can moonlight. There are two clauses that you should watch out for. The first one is a single employment clause. Your work contract may legally bind you to a single job. The second one is the non-compete clause. It prohibits an employer or an employee from working with a rival company. And this can be after you've resigned or even during your employment. If you don't have either of these clauses in your contract, then you can safely moonlight in India. You can have more than one job. Same with the United States and the United Kingdom. As long as you're paying your taxes for the money that you're making, you should be good to go. So legally, there is a green light for moonlighting. But what about ethics? Is it ethical to have two jobs? Or is it like cheating on your employer? Think of it this way. You have 24 hours in a day. Your work contract demands that you spend 9 hours at work. So that's 24 minus 9 in most cases, which leaves you with 15 hours of time. What you do in those 15 hours should not be anybody's business. You could choose to coach students, you could deliver lectures, work at a departmental store. As long as you're not leaking sensitive information, you should not be in conflict of interest and definitely not in breach of your contract. So is moonlighting the future? Well, who knows? These are changing times. The work culture is changing. People want to have a plan B with everything that they do. It is also normal to want multiple sources of income, especially given how unstable the economy is right now. People also want to hone different skill sets. So what should employers do? Like I mentioned, they worry about productivity loss. And employees worry about not making the most of their time. Yes, there is the need to find a middle ground, but what must that be? Employers can start by putting pen to paper, come up with a moonlighting policy. Earlier this month, Swiggy said employees were free to work on their projects after working hours as long as it did not affect their productivity and was not in conflict of interest. As in, you can't be working in Swiggy's marketing team and then moonlighting as Zomato's marketing manager. That demand is quite fair, we say. Other companies could take a cue from this. Have a proactive approach to moonlighting, set performance expectations, draft a policy that protects confidential information, define conflict of interest, tell employees where the company draws the red line. After all, having a moonlighting policy helps employers more than employees, because if there's a breach, you can terminate employment. Otherwise, it becomes a courtroom drama. Allowing employees to moonlight also helps a company project itself as a progressive workplace. As for employees, having a policy in place helps in getting a clear understanding of his or her terms of appointment. This is also a reminder for governments to formulate a proper moonlighting policy. India's Labour Code has adopted the provision for a 4-day work week. Perhaps it's also time to incorporate the idea of having multiple jobs. Give it a legal structure, define what's okay and what's not. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.